What's my hair doing? Hello, everyone. Here we are.
How are we all doing?
Here we are again. Here we are again.
Okay, just going to start singing again.
Who? Let's have a look who's here.
Really nice to be back home and bouncing.
On his ball. Annie's top of the show. Hello, Annie. Annie Hogan. Good evening. Tracy Gray's here. Hi, Tracy. Good to see you. Jade French is here. Hello, Jade. Pia's here. Evening from Finland. So nice to see you. It's nice to see you too. I do apologize about my voice. It suffered over the weekend. Some would say that's a good thing that I am actually losing my voice trying to speak. So it is a little croaky. It may get croakier as the evening progresses. Charlie Brown's here. Hello, Catherine. Good to see you. Kelly Moore is here. Evening, peeps. Hello, hello.
Oh, yeah.
Des is here. Good afternoon from Virginia. Excited to see what we are going to delve into today. We're definitely going to be looking at the page today because we've not been on it very much. I tried going through a little bit of it today. So I think it's time that we went through a few posts because we've missed a few people. Pia's here. I like when we are going through the page together. That's what we're going to do, Pia. That's what we've decided we're going to do. Janet's here. Evening all, says Janet. Tara's here. Boom, boom, shake the broom. Shake the broom. Anne Blake. Hello, Anne. How's things? We talked a lot about Max over the weekend because, of course, Sarah was there from New Moon, which is the track livery for everybody. It's not like a private conversation. This is the track livery where Max, the Suffolk Punch, who's had his shoes off, who's doing very well, that's where he's residing at New Moon. And Sarah came to our workshop. So it was nice to see her. Maybe, Anne, one day we'll get to see you at a workshop too, which would be lovely. Maggie's Thrustles is here. Evening all, she says. Lynn's here. Good to see you, Lynn. Hello. All the way from Maryland. Laura Shillam's here. Hi from Washington State, she says.
Hi,
Angie
Laura.
says, hello, hello. Becky's here. Hi, everyone, she says.
Hi, Becky.
Morning, everyone from Australia. Nice and early. 5 a.m. No, I couldn't be that dedicated. Not at all.
No, me neither.
No. I'm sorry. I feel like I've got hair on my face. I would be still asleep. Or just thinking about going to bed, actually, oftentimes. Anne Chopra's here from Stratford in Ontario. Hi, Anne. Joe Kirk's here. Hi, team from a frosty -2 in New Zealand. Is it indeed? Of course. You're heading into winter, aren't you? In fact, I think winter has actually progressed. Sorry, but I feel like I've got something on my face. Isn't that awful when you feel like you've got something on your face? It irritates you. Sorry. Crikey, -2, although it's not been a lot. No, might as well be winter here. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. +20 here still at 10 p.m. Well, it's very light out there. It's getting warmer here now. It is getting warmer. Tula says, hi from Finland. Hello. Anne says, I got my t-shirt, hat and phone case. Going to get a pic with Max on Friday and we'll post it on the page. Yeah, that was great.
Job.
Looking forward to seeing that. Becky says, hi to you, Anne. Hi, says Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Good to see you. Where do you find this link to join? I don't know what you're on about. Sandra's here from Czech. Hi, everyone, she says. Jade, they posted a link in the Phoenix group. We did. The Phoenix group. Des is here. Des Bun. Yep. I think I've already said hello to you there. They posted it with the link. Oh, right. I'll let you all have your conversation. Maisie Ann. Hi, Gary. It's me, Maisie, with the young TB kitty. Oh.
Remember I told you about Maisie, the thoroughbred?
Who's had the shoes taken off.
14 years old, yes.
Maisie.
Well done, Maisie.
One of our newest and youngest Phoenix warriors at 14, is it, Maisie, with your thoroughbred?
Awesome job.
That's
I forgot what
fantastic.
Sarah Lou's son's called.
Welcome.
What's Sarah Lou's son called?
Mm.
I've forgotten.
I have Sarah. What's your son called again? I've forgotten. Oh, it nearly was there then.
He's similar age to Maisie, isn't he?
It went. It was there, and then it went. Nicole's here. Hi from Peru. You're here. How wonderful.
Hey, Nicole.
Nicole from in the middle of the Amazonian forest. That's crazy, isn't it? We're talking to you live and you're right there. I can't even imagine what that must look like, feel like, sound like, smell like. Gosh, it must be amazing. Tell us more of what it's like living there. Libby in Shetland couldn't be further
Hi, Libby.
away. You and Tula from the Amazonian rainforest, just a little bit different. Sarah Woodvine's here. Yay, just made it in time. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Vivian's here. Hello, Vivian from California.
Hi,
Gavin's
Vivian.
here. Hello, Gavin.
What's your mate? Long time no see.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Erin's here. Hello from Ohio, says Erin. Julie, evening from a chilly Scotland. Is it chilly? Is it
Hi,
chilly,
Julie.
Julie? Flipping weather, don't know what it's doing, does it? Dawn's here. Hi everywhere. Hi everyone from sunny Cornwall. We got the hempine stuff. That was all good. I haven't used it yet.
Dawn's been busy making hay today.
Look, oh yes, making hay where the sun shines. Dawn Lim's here. Good evening, one and all. So glad to have you back. Yeah, well, we're only here for today, then we're not coming back again. No, it's a joke. We're back on it now. Jeanette's here. Bonsoir from northern France. Kate's here. Hello from Orkney. Oh, is it cold?
Oh, it's definitely a shorts day here today, Kate. I'm going to rub it in. It is now June. The summer has arrived in France, and now I am not taking shorts off until the winter.
Come on, give us
cold,
a flash.
I'm going to freeze.
Flash of your legs, Gary. Come on. Oh, there's his legs. Look, don't see him very often.
They're still a bit white, I'm afraid.
I know, really white. Becky says, hi, Maisie. Good to have you here. It is very good to have you here, Maisie. Stewie, that's it. Struvhan.
Stewie.
Is that how it's spelled?
Stewie and Maisie.
That's why. Stewie, that's it. Stewie, meet Maisie. Maisie, meet Stewie. Although I don't know if Stewie's watching. Probably isn't, if Sarah's gone and hidden herself in the chat room. Nicole says, hoot. Carly, hello, darling. You're here. Hello from sunny Montana. You made it. Yes. Have the kids gone to bed, or are they thinking about going to bed? What or where are they? No, because it's afternoon where you are. What am I talking about? Teresa's here. Hello from Sweden. Guess what? We have rain right now and 1 billion mosquitoes. Oh my God.
Not great.
No, that's terrible. Susan Garvin's here. Shumai from Wales. Shumai. Ni hao. Shumai. Ni hao. Bon Nui, obviously. But what was it in Portugal? It was forgotten now. And I've definitely forgotten what it was in Finland. In Finnish. I don't know. I forget. Oh, Borda. 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 Can I ask a question about trimming bars? Yes. I know you need to keep at it. And I know because I saw a picture of your cobs, very barry foot. Can I ask a question about trimming bars? I know you need to just keep at it, but when they aren't upright and have grown completely to the side, it's so hard to get into them. The top is like stone. I'm stuck. I'll message you a pic so you can see where I got to. Let me go and have a look. I just saw that message coming through. Let's go have a look. Oh, come on then. Come on through. Oh, crikey. It's quite a few. Oh, no, it's the wrong one. Ah, here we go. Right. Oh, blimey. So I'm assuming dear poor Kathy couldn't manage to do this part of the... let's go and have... Oh, no, wrong one. Hold on, callers. I'm just trying to connect you. There we go. Chat. Let's come back to that. Let me hide that. Put that back up on here. Yes, right. Right, now I can't see you now because I'm going to only be on this bit. Right, so what have we got here? We have got a rather overgrown cobby foot. Now, the problem when you get a foot that's cobby and overgrown is manyfold. One, because cobs, just most cobs, now I'm not going to tar them all with this exactly the same brush, but most cobs aren't that keen necessarily if you're keeping their foot up for long periods of time. They don't mind a bit of time, but if you're going to take it beyond a certain time limit, they're not going to be too happy about it. And this chapess definitely needed a bit of time and quite a lot of wool there that was needing to come down. How come, Sarah, he hadn't been trimmed by the farrier? What was going on there? Oh, it's pronounced Struan. Oh. Sorry. Right. So what have we got here? Can you see my cursor? I'm sorry it's little and black. I do apologize. I haven't sorted it out. So you all should know by now, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for that hard sole plain. What you see here is just a bit of old laminite. It's just poking through. That's nothing. It's just because it's not been exfoliated properly because we've had too much wool. So we've got lots of indication of where the end of the sole is. That's marvellous. But can you see that the only bit of sole that you've got to exfoliate is that? It's like a smile. It's just that bit there. You're like, oh. When in actual fact, there's more sole under here, back here. In fact, all the way back here, there's still sole. And people say, oh, you know, the heels drag the foot forward. No, they don't. The foot and the front of the hoof wall, well, the whole foot just grows in the angle of the horn tubules, which are obviously angled from where the papillae are. So it all grows forward. It's not just the heels causing it or anything like that. But you can also see that the frog is really quite large as well. So the problem that we have here is that we get all the way down and then we still have some bars left. So let's go see what she did. And I think she did a very good job. So let's go see what Sarah did. Ta-da! Look at that. Now, I can't put them next to each other because I am not prepared. But you can see, can't you, that she's done a very, very good job. Let's just flick between the two. Yeah, there to there. But there's still more to find under here. Okay. And that's just because those bars aren't down yet. And it does also look, am I correct in saying, that you still have hoof wall above here? You don't have that much separation, surely, do you? I don't think so. So have you still got hoof wall above here? Or is this just a monumental bit of flare? If you shoved your rasp across that, would you end up touching the sole? I'd be interested to know. So there's still quite a bit under here that needs exfoliating. So we've made sure that we're balanced across the heels. Probably the frog was in the way. Heels to toe. You've done a pretty good roll. You've kept it reasonably the right thickness all the way around. You can see that very clear defining line of the inner and the outer hoof wall. Look at that, even though this is non-pigmented. So what you can do in an instant in situation like this, if you've just started trimming a horse with big thick bars, is to get as far as this, Sarah. Make sure everything is balanced and then send them away and then come back in 3 weeks and have another look. And hopefully you'll have had a little bit more exfoliation, etc. However, it is tough. You've got to get in there. And this is one of the reasons why cobs particularly, but other heavier breeds, end up having a lot of bar because it's hard to get off. And the more you leave it, the more it folds over. So the actual true bar is just a bit back from here and it shouldn't finish this bar. I know that this is the bit of the angle of the photograph, but the bar shouldn't be finishing near the tip of the end of the frog. The bar finishes here. So you can see how much further back it needs to be eventually. So you've got pretty much that amount of bar that needs to come off. But yeah, get it balanced and etc. Gary, have you got anything to add to that?
No, I think if you go back to the first picture, this takes a little bit of confidence, and you want to know where the main structures are. So what can help with getting those bars down is actually nipper dragging the bars. But you've really got to go. You really need. Where's it gone?
Oh, that's me, because I was typing something on Messenger. Hang on. That's because it went off Sarah.
In the challenge, I showed you how to nipper drag and clear off the sole. So you can use that technique for the bars as well. So that you've got a little bit more leverage. I don't want you gouging those bars out though, but it gives you a little bit more leverage, and you've got sharp nippers, which means that it makes life a little bit easier than just using a knife, because they're hard.
Yeah. So and because you've got quite a big foot here, you could get your nippers quite in there.
Yeah.
And that would really help. You get quite a lot off there. Doing it with your knife.
Try the nipper dragging, but like you see where the bar comes in at that angle as it's going down. That's it. You can actually get the nippers in and maybe get under there and actually take a good chunk out, as if it was hoof wall. Because let's face it, that's what it is. It is hoof wall that actually continues round. So just like you do when you're nippering around the hoof wall, you can nip around to the bar as well when they are excessive. If they're not excessive, then there would be no point. You'd be better off using a knife.
Indeed. Very good. Well done. I hope that helped. You'll get more practice with that in time.
Very soon.
I did the hinds. I got as far as I could before I nearly passed out.
It's not easy, is it?
Imagine you've got a cob like that, and it's at the end of your day, and you've done 10 horses already, and you turn up, and you've got a cob, and they're like, no, they've been waiting for you, and they're kicking their back legs, and you're like, no, God, please. Please, somebody transport me from this place. Can you do it? And you're so tired. It's honestly, I think those thoughts. I'm back there underneath the horse's foot, picking it up, going, oh, God, please, just something happened to me now. I don't know. Do something awful so that you'd have to just leave. I don't know what it is, but it's just awful. But you just dig in and then you focus and then you get on with it. And before you know it, 2 hours have passed, 2 hours have gone by, and you're like, got it done. It's just practice, my lovely. You'll manage. Meta is here from Denmark. Hejog God aften. See, it just looks made up. See, it just looks made up to me. It just looks made up. It just looks like you've just gone, let's get a load of consonants. Let's make it sound like hi and good evening. Hejog God aften. Am I saying it right? Hejog God aften. Hejog God often. Right? See, I could be the voice on Google Translate. I'm that fluent when I see things. Lydia's here. Finally got my internet going. Hi, everyone. Sarah says, yes, he was a nightmare. Swear I lost a stone. He was meant to be trimmed by me, but I had my up on arm. That's right. That's right. So it's been 14 weeks. 14 weeks. That is another reason why you need to get them on your tracks and get your tracks up and running as soon as you can. I know the difficulties. We've spoken about that. But, oh, yes. Jackie Kennedy, welcome home, guys. We've missed you. Missed you too. Yes, I had to give up. Still cell to come out and wall to come down. I was shattered. Right. And when you do that, you kind of go round once, round a second time. Oh my God, I've got to go around this hoof 3 times. It's even been 4 at times. I haven't posted on YouTube yet. I'm still contemplating it. but because I don't know whether I'm going to post it on YouTube or put it in the challenges. I'm certainly going to post it into our school, where I trimmed the upside down hoof and around and around and around and around. I mean, I took inches and inches and inches off, but it was a cadaver and it was sat between my legs and wasn't pulling away all the time. Yes, she left in balance. That's perfect. So yes. Okay, great job, says Emma Daly. Yeah. Hi, Emma. It's not easy, right? It's difficult, but don't be disheartened. Don't be disheartened. It's just practice and technique and the STAMINA word. Stamina. Gary was like, I don't know what she's just said.
Yeah, I was reading.
You were lost there, weren't you?
I was reading and I thought, I hope she don't talk to me about it.
It was like stone the wall. I had to nip her eighth. That's yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? Vivian, did you ever use half round nippers to get something started that's very hard on the hoof? I always just use my one pair of nippers, and in fact, at the start, it's quite you know it's thick horn. You saw how thick it is. I need my big 15-inch handled Nordic forges, my Viking Nordic forge. They're amazing. For bar like that, I use bonsai nippers. Work a treat.
Oh, bonsai nippers.
Oh, bonsai, as in bonsai topiary kind of.
Yeah,
nippers.
A lot of people use bonsai nippers.
Yeah. It's just more tools to carry on your caddy, and I'm one for stripping it down because they're heavy.
And more money spent because they're not cheap either.
No, love the Phoenix painting behind you, Lindsay.
I got one too.
Look behind Gary is his green.
That one.
This was I think it was Vanya's niece. The Phoenix Way Lindsay 2024. Isn't it beautiful?
Should I get mine?
He'll get yours and his, sorry, and bring it a little bit closer.
Oh.
Look at that. Isn't it lovely?
Awesome, isn't it? Very lucky.
It is lovely. Sorry, I was just typing something then to somebody. It is absolutely beautiful. Oh, look at him there in his little shorts. He's a little schoolboy, isn't he?
Stop looking at the arse.
Can't see it, dear. Nearly there. I was nearly there, was I? I was nearly there. I bog often. God. No. Stop now. My sister has a wonderful cob, been barefoot all his life, but I looked at his hooves today and oh my God, his bars are almost all the way around the frog. We call those a mono bar.
It's a mono bar.
I'm desperately trying to get her to see my way. Yeah, that's what happens when you allow that accreted material to keep on going. Hi, Louise. She made it. Louise Pugh, lovely to see you. Monica's here from Czech. Hello. Good job, guys. You and Sandra the other day. That was hard work. And for people who aren't, that necessarily experienced with coming across crazy feet like that, I think you did an amazing job. It will come more apparent to you. It will get easier, but you need to visit fairly often to start with. Sarah, I was loving it, giggling between needing my inhaler. This career is definitely what I want to do. Oh, God. Deb Jack says, stunning. Sarah says, I have those nippers. Couldn't get them in. Dawn, it really is lovely. What's lovely?
Picture.
Oh, yes, that. Let's see.
Do keep up.
Leah's here. Leah Hullett. Hello. Hi all. I couldn't find where to join. Don't know what I was doing wrong and we'll have to watch later. We've only just started. We've just really started.
We've talked a little bit about bars.
3 more hellos and then we're going to go straight in. I have bonsai nippers. Use them on frogs sometimes. I don't know what bonsai nippers look like, Gary. I don't really know. Hello, Shannon. How's Teddy?
Little secateurs for bonsai trees.
Teddy and River.
But very sharp.
Hello from a cloudy New York, says Janice Rathburn. Hello, hello.
Hi, Janice.
Monica says, thank you, Lindsay. You're welcome, darling. Right, let's get in there, shall we? Let's get into the group and see what's been posted. We've had some interesting posts, even just today. Anybody spot it, that it's already gone up to 7.1 thousand? Did anybody spot that today? And we were only celebrating on Sunday evening, was it? That it had gone up to 7. And here we are on Wednesday, and it popped over to 7.1. There's no, it's like the floodgates are opening. There's no stopping everybody now. Right, let's go in and have a look. Let me find. Here we go. Can you see it?
Yep.
Cool. Do you want us down there or up on the side? I think up on the side is probably the best, isn't it? All right, so let's start going down the page live. I'm going to do this. Well, we're going to try and do this every evening now. So we're going to have a live now. We'll have this little thing come up so that if you get into the group at the time when it's meant to start, you should find this, and then you should be able to click on it. Very similar to when it was with StreamYard. Let me just refresh this page just to make sure that I have got the latest version of it. Okay. Sorry, you've got us now, Nicole. You've got us now. All right. So Julie, one of the things that becomes really striking as the hoof balance improves with the Phoenix way of trimming is the postural changes. Yeah. There's 15 horses here, so there's lots of visuals observed on a daily basis. I think everybody should go in and read that. I'm not going to read all that now, but for sure, I'm going to go back and read that in a bit. Yeah, absolutely. What are we doing here? What's going on here? Julius, you look like you're about to start a race, and he's just like checking you just to make sure. Just check your temperature, love. Just check your temperature on your forehead. Make sure you're all right. Are you ready? Ready? I'm going to go over there in a minute and go ready, steady, go. That's what it looks like, what you're saying. Oh, look at that. There you are. Yeah, that's a hairy monster. Yes. Yes. Lovely. Give you a big heart. Let's give you a big, lovely, big love heart. Thank you for sharing that, my lovely. Jade. Okay, she's making a post with links today with Toby and Muffin's feet, 2 separate posts in tonight's live stream. Thank you. All right, let's have a look. Let's go and have a look at Toby very quickly. So for Jade. All right, this is Toby. Shall I just make this a bit bigger? This is Toby, the purportedly laminitic mini I made reference to on the 55-day stream. Not my pony, no x-rays. He and his bud Muffin are out of their outdoor paddock, weather permitting. They get free reign of an indoor arena for a few hours most days and share a stall when weather does not permit. They share 1 or 2 flakes of hay 2 times a day. Can we get more hay into them, Jade? Is it possible? Can you convince the owners to give them hay, ad lib, not to restrict hay? Toby was declared by the vet to have foundered when he was ouchy one day and didn't want to move. When he and Muffin were in 2 full-sized horses, with 2 full-sized horses, he would slip under the electric fence and gobble up grass at night. Ooh, it may be hard to tell in the pics, but he does have fat pads on his rumps and shoulders. So let's get in there. All right, so let me just have a look. So immediately we can see problems, can't we? We can see that the front has been removed. Gary, jump in whenever you want and just tell me if this is that you can see it okay. And it's been rasped off. I have to add here, Jade is obviously doing it the Phoenix way, so she just showing us what it was like. And what do we see here? We see this attempt to remove this toe to reduce breakover issues. Now, I hope you all saw that video that I put up on the HM page a couple of days ago. Please go and see that. We showed our people on the our attendees on the workshop that when we were talking about breakover, we chatted quite a bit about breakover over the workshop over the 3 days. And that video goes to show us. So this is a problem. Now, they may find that horses trip in a situation like this, and partly they go, right, that's why we need to take the toe off. But that's because the foot is all in the wrong position. The heels are too high, got quite a bit of periopal there by the looks of it. And they remove the toe. And in fact, what they're trying to do is take pressure off the toe. And actually, by doing that, they put more pressure on the toe because the heels go up. So you're actually pushing further forward. And whilst that happens, P3 gets put in a hyperpositive position. So that's what's been going on there. And of course, it takes the hoof wall off the ground and it reduces the surface area. So we can see we've got quite big heels here. All right. It's the hairline's way back here and the heels are way down here. And this frog isn't doing an awful lot, is it? Because it has overgrown too, of course, because it's trying to get a little bit of ground contact, isn't it? And you can see, look at the rings here on, can you see the rings on the bar? That's because bar is hoof wall. And if your hoof wall's got rings, your bar's going to have rings as well. That frog looks a bit sore, actually, and a bit thrushy and a little bit pathetic and a little bit puny. And I dare say you've got to be careful of this, guys, because if horses continually have a little bit of dryish local thrush around the edges in the collateral grooves, aren't too bad. But when horses have very deep collateral grooves because the heels are too high, they end up keeping a lot of debris down here, and it gets very thrushy. And then that little white area down there at the bottom, which is just actually very close to the frog dermis underneath and the frog stay underneath, that can indeed be quite sore, and it can bleed it sometimes with some horses that it's been, so bad for so long. Let's just see if I can get up here. Right, you can see here where hoof walls come around to here, stop, it's coming around to here, and it's just tapers off, and we got absolutely nothing. So what have we got going on there? A callus, because the poor horse is going, damn it, I haven't got any hoof wall to walk on anymore. I don't care how stretched out it is, I just don't have it anymore. So now I've got a callus. So not looking good. And the really crappy thing is that they get trimmed like this so often, up with the heels, off with the toes, forcing the exact opposite of what they're trying to achieve, in fact. And then we see these horses leaning back in the founder stance or the laminitic stance. And the reason we see that, we're told, is because, they're trying to get the pain off the front of the foot, right? They're trying to get the pain off the lamina. Without a doubt, the lamini are being stressed because P3 is not in the right position. But they're trying to lean back in a desperate attempt to get P3 in alignment with their bony column. They can't do it because the heels are in the way. So it's totally misread bit of information there, but what they're seeing, making assumptions. So look, you can see hoof wall has gone bye-bye. Look, it's not there anymore. It's like an infinity sole. You know those infinity pools that you get? It's like an infinity sole, because you get to the end of the sole. Imagine you're a little person running along there, and you get there and you go, oh, you'd fall off because you don't have the hoof wall there anymore. And it needs to be there because no horse in living history would do this to their foot. And us, they don't do it to themselves. We're not doing it. And people go, oh yeah, they do. They crack their horn off. Well, that's because they got cracks in their hoof wall because they're not healthy. But generally, even with cracks, they're not going to crack off that much. And they don't crack off all the way up the hoof. They only do it a little bit around the edges, if they're going to do it at all. So, yeah. Okay. This is a back foot. And you can, I'm assuming it's back foot. That looks like, yeah, left hind. Big red letters on the screen, Lindsay, that you never even spotted.
Concentrating on the foot. I'm concentrating on the foot.
Right. Right. This is a back foot. And you can, I'm assuming it's back foot. That looks like, yeah, left hind. Big red letters on the screen, Lindsay, that you never even spotted. Concentrating on the foot. I'm concentrating on the foot. Right. This is a back foot. So, because we got tail, haven't we, that left hind. So it looks, I mean, I know we can't see the side very much, but that's just too much foot. It's not normal. But they don't look like they're taking off quite as much toe on the hinds. Why? Well, don't get laminitis in the hind feet, apparently. Left hind. So yeah, we've got a big thick piece of periopal here. This is all periopal. And that can get fungally at times, actually. It looks like it might have got there. That's just a bit of mud. But yeah, look at the rings, ring after ring after ring after ring after ring after ring after ring. We've not got so much divergence going on here because we actually do have a bit more toe wall on the ground. You can't really see whether that's balanced or not. You see the difference? You see you've got toe wall on the ground. It's being thinned a little bit, but a judicious trim would fix that. Lots of heel and lots of bar. And you can see where the bar is getting affected and starting to crack, because actually true bars down here, but this is extra bar material. And we've got all that dark, funky thrush. You know, a little scrape there because you're trying to find the hard sole plane. And when you're looking for the hard sole plane in situations like this, where you've got a lot of callus at the front, you're looking down here. You're playing around down in this area and down in this area here to see if you can find more sole. See, look how much. Yeah, it's not an infinity sole anymore, like an infinity pool. Little person running along there. Oh, lovely. I don't fall off the edge of the cliff. No, because there's wall there. But look at the thick frog. It's looking too handsome. So what is this? What are we looking at here? If you're a professional turning up and you're turning up going, well, they've got laminitis, it's to be expected. No. No. What we have here is another incredibly common, typical example of crappy hoof care, of misunderstood crappy hoof care. And you've seen it now, haven't you, 100 times? Crappy hoof care. Look at this. Let's just leave the heels, hind feet alone, sorry. And we just rasp the hell out of the fronts. Indiscriminately and not evenly. Personal preference trimming. Have I got it the same on the front left as I have on the front right? No. That's okay, though. Treat the horse as an individual. Look. Nothing here. Bad. Underrun. Just looks like a poorly foot. No healing angle coming in. Poor horse. Poor pony. Again, so big and thick. We've got reasonable balance, but look, this is just, can you see it? This is just nasty. This hurts, guys. Can you see these fissures in this central sulcus? It's got so big and thick because the frog actually should just be down here somewhere. And it's this bloody great massive thing that's just got infected, and that's now infecting its way all the way down to the hairline. And remember, underneath all of this down here is a digital cushion. You don't want to bugger about with that. So problems, big problems. And this hasn't been a 5-minute thing. This has been something that's been going on for a while. Joe says, I want to get in there and trim. Frog gets very compacted with the sole. It does. There's a lot more buildup of sole around the apex of the frog. Right, now, sometimes in this situation here, actually, we do look like we've got quite a lot of buildup, but that's not always the case. You can see the apex of the frog is deep down here and it's going up here. And doesn't it look different to the other foot? Oh, goodness, this poor horse. Lots of differences here. So you've got a massive amount of compaction here. So Gary and I would get in there and we'd start clearing around here, and before you know it, flakety. And in fact, actually, you'd find probably that toe wall would likely come into play once you've worked out where everything is here. It's just,
if not, it'd be very close to, wouldn't it?
Yeah, months and months and months of incorrect or non-existent hoof care. Yeah, it's only dinky. Look at the hand. Yeah, poor thing. Compaction. That's compaction for you. That's compaction. So what have we got to do there? We've got to find that hard sole plane, particularly towards the back of the foot, and start getting those heels sorted out. Let's start getting that done. Right, let's go back and see if we can find Jade's, because she put 2 up. Let's go see if, because these 2 animals live together, let's go see if we can see anything that is similar with Muffin. I haven't looked at this because we've been away, so we haven't had a really good chance to be down the page, which is why Jade has put these up again for us to look at. I'll just give you a little love heart there, darling. Right, let's go and have a look. Muffin. This is Muffin. This is Muffin. The other 2 minis I mentioned on the 55. Not my pony. Yeah. When the current owners got him, he had long slipper hooves from severe neglect, and the owners were told that his feet were permanently damaged. That was 9 years ago. Right. Chances are those slipper feet might have been in a better fettle than this. So what have we got here? We've got a block. Practically horizontal coronary band, high heels. Well, there's a similarity already. Taking some of the toe off. What does it make you feel like, Carrie, when you see this?
Well, wait till you see the next ones. I was whizzing ahead of you. Well, it's just bloody soul destroying, isn't it?
Oh,
sorry for the B word, but what is going on out there, eh?
It's bad,
it's just shocking. And for poor old Jade, trying to do her very best for those ponies. So please don't think that anybody's having a go at you. You're here to learn and to do things right. But it's a shit show out there.
So what we have here is we have a rye foot that's just going, because it's long. Of course, when it's very long, it goes extra rye. Do you see what happens with a rye foot? Is you get a very straight edge, or sometimes a dorsal, a side wall, if you like, that starts to bend sometimes, and then on the other side, the opposing wall begins to fold under. But these heels should be coming back to somewhere back here, and all of this frog and everything is just too overgrown. So that's a rye foot. And can you see here? You can see it's doing exactly that. It's just compacted. So people think, oh, I'm down to the hard sole plane. You're not. You're into compaction, but they're tricky unless you really do have that confidence and that experience. Trimming compacted feet can be troublesome because you don't know where you're going to. And there are certain things you can look at, like collateral groove depth, and where the periopple is, but they're not all constants depending on what's going on and how healthy the foot is. But you can see, can't you, that this is folding in on this side. So the whole foot sort of sloughs sideways. That's what we call a rye foot. And the bones inside are suffering, and joints inside are suffering. You can see where this is breaking down because that's not actually true bar. The bar is underneath there. Well, that's just long wall of bar that's just grown up. That's just another view of it. And can you see this callous toe? Guess why? Because they've been removing the toe wall. And there we go again. And this is the horse, protecting itself too at the front. All this callus is protecting, because P3 is just back here. And this looks like deep bruising to me. So that would indicate to me potentially that we might have something going on a little nasty in there. Because these ponies have been kept like this for such a long time.
That's a bloody keyboard.
It's quite possible that we have got some serious changes going on in there. Karen is the back foot. Haven't really done much, with the back foot because girls don't get laminitis in the back foot. But which they do, of course. But they don't get so so much hideous hoof care in general. It does happen, but in general, it's usually the front feet. Heels are too high. You can see that the quarters here, a lot of pressure through the quarters, hence the reason why those rings are pushing up a little bit like that. That's very different to diverging rings. In diverging rings, it isn't compression, it's about growth rates. This bit is about compression. It gets confused. People confuse the two all the time. You can see there's been changes here. And there's a bit of a lean. So this pony's got leaning all over the place. Potentially a little bit of a lean, and I don't know if that's balanced. This is an abscess hole here. That's what it looks like to me. Does that looks like to you, Gary?
It does.
So that's what this is part of.
It might be the angle of the photo, but looking at the back of the foot as well, it looks as though those hind feet are very upright, aren't they?
They are indeed. Far too much heel, far too much frog, everything far forward. Just look how much compaction's there. Jade, it's not going to be easy, my darling. You got a bit of a battle on your hands. And it does mean you have to visit these little ones often. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's like human beings have never seen a horse's foot before and they're just kind of making it up. I don't know. Oh, we've forgotten Mother Nature and her boardroom and little Lucy. Everybody's ignored them. We're just making it up as we go along.
Can you imagine? And this is where this is where the confusion comes in. So we've got abscess there. So if you can bring the image down just a wee bit, Lindsay, can you see that we've got the hoof pastern axis, which is perfect?
Oh yeah.
So you've got this really long toe. If we were to measure that, that would be way off the scale. But this hoof pastern axis is what they call it, is absolutely perfect. But it's only perfect because they have got that heel right up in the air. If they were to bring that heel down to where it was supposed to be, that toe would actually be way further out in front. Because as soon as you take that material away at the back, the foot and the pedal bone come into a much better position, but the toe pokes forward because it's in an unnatural position inside. The pedal bone is. So what ends up happening, and this is what people really, really struggle with when the hoof care has been incorrect, the toe gets longer, but the toe was always long. It's just in a different angle.
Yeah.
That's all it's doing. But at the moment,
look at the terribly long toe.
So the pedal bone in there at the moment is going to be a bit more positive. Where's my camera? So a bit more positive. You bring the heel down to just off ground parallel. This is going to poke out here. It's going to be longer.
Oh, I wanted Gary. Look at that. There you go.
So at the moment, oh God, where's the camera? So the pedal bone will be more like that when you, and the toe is shorter, yeah? Or it appears shorter when we look at it, but when you bring the heels down, that toe's going to come out here. So are we the long toe brigade? Yes, because everybody else has got the hoof care wrong. But do we want a long toe? No, we don't. Because if the hoof care was right, the diet was right, and the management was right, we wouldn't be the long toe brigade.
No, it's your fault, not ours.
Yeah.
Not as in you, as in the owner. Usually, the hoof care professional.
It is. It is.
Right, let's go back, have another quick look. Let's get these finished. Yeah, more same. Yeah, just loads of compaction in there. Great photos. Well done. See, more hoof wall in play. but just lots of compaction here at the back of the foot. This is where you would be looking at the back of the foot. And again, I mean, I'd be heartbroken if I left a horse's foot looking like that. I mean, I'd just be heartbroken. Poor ponies. What a disgusting mess, really. Look where the hairline is, all the way down here.
That's going to take some time to get rid of. That's going to take some time. But also...
that's rying as well.
Trimming often and encouraging movement. That movement is really key for these animals. Not forced movement, encouraged movement, because as soon as you start taking stuff off there, it will start to go right quite quickly. But you've got to keep on it. You've got to keep on it.
And you see how polished and folded over this looks like? You can't really see much of the
it's
actual...
almost like it's got a varnish on it.
Yeah, it's just because it's just too long and it's just folded in. It's a bit like what happens with the bars, right? So you need to get in here and get these bars out first. But you know what, Jade? You have your work cut out. I know you're trying to help these, and there they are, look, the little dinkies. So around here, you need to absolutely encourage these owners that they have to put hay in little places, in little buckets, if you like, around this, not in one spot, so that they just stand there, poor things, because they have no other choice, because that's their hay source of fiber. We're not starving them. It's not going to fix the problem. The problem is in the feet caused by poor hoof care. We've got to get that right. So the hay needs to be placed around in piles around here to encourage them to move around in there, wherever, up here in the shade a little bit, so they're not in the sun all the time. They've got choice then. They can move each other along. So they need to have hay about if they're going to be kept in these paddocks, in these areas for any length of time. They must have continual hay. Oh, love him. He's showing himself there. Look at his beautiful little colours. You can see, somebody said, Elaine says you can see his fat pads. Well, he just generally doesn't look brilliant, does he? I mean, he doesn't look young either. Yeah, right. We've done that. Okay, so let me just come back to you guys a minute. Oh, let's just swap us over. What can we say? Terrible hoof care. You got to be on it. Really, we could do with seeing x-rays to see the state of P3. But if you haven't got that, the things that you have to do is you have to make sure that these owners are doing the right thing. They're not on grass, preferably. They're not. They are moving. You've got to get the hay around. And I have to say, Jade, as sad and awful as this is, if these people are not prepared to help themselves, then you really have to, read them the riot act, really, because it's really poor in every which way. So I hope that helps. Yeah. Oh, Vivian's here. Hello, Vivian, from a freezing cold Germany. It seems that part of Europe is cold. That's okay, because we were cold. We've just gone and blown it all over to you. So it's freezing where you are now, because we were freezing for ages as well. I plan to show the owners this live stream, so hopefully we'll get them more hay. Great. Owners, if you're watching this, you can fix this. We don't know what the state of P3 is inside, but certainly that hoof care needs sorting out, and you really need to put the hay out. They got to move. They got to move. Encourage that movement. Don't just give them bits of hay. They need hay all day. I have no tools yet, so cannot address their trims. Not sure if I could get permission to anyway. Otherwise, I would have gotten in there and given them a good first trim. Okay, so it's got to be addressed. If the owners want to talk to me or Gary, tell them to contact us. Contact us. We'll be more than happy to chat you through it. Toya's here. Hi, Toya. Good to see you, my lovely.
Hi, Toya.
Nicole says, sorry, I accidentally left my question regarding the bars or high heels. If the frog does seem to be damaged, would lowering the heels or bar further injure it? No. Well, it's not going to further injure it. It's going to feel it back there. But you see, when the heels are high, sorry, just jumping in there, Gary. When the heels are high, and everything's being messed with at the front, and P3's in a hyperpositive position, you can't be going, well, I'm, as they all say, oh, well, we got to take the heels down carefully because we're worried about the frog or the DDFT, or get the frog, get that, start using stuff to try and make it healthier. Diet manage, obviously, it takes time. But the soft tissues generally repair. You cannot repair bone loss. It's gone. And when it's gone, it's gone. And that is the road to having your animal sadly suffering and being put to sleep. So you have a little bit of soft tissue discomfort isn't going to be the end of that animal. The end of that animal will be bone loss.
Usually what's going on at the back of the foot, unless you've got caudal heel failure, what's going on at the back of the foot is way less of a priority. And in modern hoof care, as we are seeing it, traditional hoof care, they concentrate on the front of the foot when everything to do with the foot is at the back. You've got to get the back of the foot healthy, and you can't really mess about. If those heels are high, you've got to get them down as quick as possible.
You really have.
You really have.
The destruction of P3.
That destruction of P3 can happen in a very short amount of time.
Gary and I were listening to a podcast yesterday, not the podcast, but a different one.
It's a different one, yeah.
Where a laminitis expert vet was talking on the podcast about what happens during laminitis and etc. And briefly they talked about, well, they didn't talk about it, but they just commented and mentioned capsular rotation. But that was it. It was just like a poop. Like, it's the worst thing ever. But they were just like, no, just because it's P3 obviously loses its attachment as far as they're concerned. DDFT's pulling it through the capsule, which Gavin, if he's still watching, will tell you it's nonsense, because there's no space in there for it to pull it through the capsule. And P3 gradually goes further like this, all because of the heels. Simple. Didn't mention it once. Not once. But what she did mention was the fact that when we see P3 in this position where it's pushing down on that circumflex artery and that dermis and that those blood vessels, what it's doing is it's restricting the blood, restricts the nourishment, the bone begins to die, and the bone starts to go through this remodeling process, right? And that's bad, and it's not good at all. So she's saying all this,
and we were thinking, oh my God, this lady, oh my goodness, this is so positive. Oh my God, we've got a laminitis vet that's talking about osteonecrosis. And then she came with the punchline.
And she said, so how are we going to treat it? Oh, right. Okay. Are we talking about treatment now? She said, so what I would do is I turn up with my farrier, and we turn up and we assess the foot. And what we want to do is we want to take pressure off the toe. So we're going to take the toe back, take it right back, take that pressure off the toe. And then we're going to put wedges on, because we found that this really does work. It does help. We put wedges on, and Gary and I were like that. No. Surely you just said pressure from P3 pushing down, and that, and now we're going to wedge it?
Contradiction. Complete and total contradiction.
What the hell?
And she said what the bloody doing.
The reason she was doing it was to take pressure off the DDFT.
The DDFT, which is most important. Poppycock.
Does the lady understand about the insertion angle of the DDFT and how steady that should be? But we're taking pressure off the DDFT because in her mind, it isn't the heels that have caused P3 to do this. No. It was just the fact that it lost connection to the lamina and went whoop, and that so we made we were like that. No, again and again and again. Then she talked about the laminae. Sometimes the laminae repairing. They don't know how that happens, incidentally. Of course they don't, because nobody does it as successfully as us most of the time. She talks about the laminae repairing, which they don't know the mechanics of that, but it does. And she's talking about repairing. She actually physically said the words as they knit together. As they knit together, they pull P3 back into alignment. Those were her exact words. Like, hoof caps had nothing to do with it. It's just swinging around in there as soon as it loses its laminae attachment. Those laminae, shock horror. Should we be blasphemous to all the laminitis research that's gone out there? Those laminae or lamellae, however you want to call it, that are knitted together like that in big long curtains. Dermal stays put. Let's do it that way around. Dermal stays put. P3's on this side. And this is the hoof capsule. It's moving through all the time, right? Shall we just tell you something? That connection there, which is connective tissue to hold it all nicely in place. When I say in place, these in place, they are there as a guide for the wall. They are not there to suspend P3 in the capsule. How do we know that? Because if you trim P3, if you trim the hoof caps correctly every time, down to the hard sole plane, nobody ever does because they ignore the horse's constants, down to the hard sole plane, what happens? P3 don't move. And they found that in their experiments. Oh, yeah, Mum, we just probably put the horse to sleep a little bit too soon. We have to try that again. Let's try and take another bunch of horses that nobody cares about and play around with them like lab rats and put them to sleep and disprove our hypothesis again and again and again. Sure, they've looked inside. Sure, they've seen stretched lamina. You would, right? You got P3 doing this. And you got the wall like that, you're going to see some stretched lamina in there. Yeah, painful, hideous, not nice. But you know what did that? Hoof care. Bad hoof care. Take a look around the world and take a look and you'll see it bloody everywhere. How many horses come into here with P3 osteonecrosis? And what's their hoof care been like? So that vet just went, I'll tell you what we do, get right in there, we take the toe off, we wedge it up, and she's really positive about it. And she doesn't talk about their failure rate, but all the way through the podcast, you can feel it. Because what she's saying effectively is, if we don't get there, it's an emergency. If we don't get there straight away, boom, like we could lose this animal. Because P3 could come through the bottom of the foot, right? So we've got to get there. It's an emergency. It's an emergency. Now, I'm not saying it's not an emergency, right? It's bloody horse is in pain, but it didn't get there in 5 minutes. It's not like, oh, I went from here to here, just like that. No, it doesn't happen. Why? Because it's all to do with the heels growing, and they don't grow in 5 minutes. It's a slow process, which by the time it gets to a certain point, the horsey goes, can't cope anymore. Now I really can't cope. Now I'm done. I'm lying down now. I am out of this. I can't. You want me to stand up on those feet? Are you having a laugh? I'm walking around on the tips of my bone. I can't stand up on my feet. And if you make me, I'll be in agony. But we're still going to make you. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to wedge them up. That'll fix it. God. Gary's typing. I can tell he's typing. He's typing something.
This is so we can get the videos back out onto YouTube quicker.
I find it so sad when you... Thank you, Gary. I find it so sad when you try to give someone advice on another group and they come back with, I've got a great farrier and he knows exactly what he's doing, thank you. And then they show you the videos, the photos, and you're like...
But that's why we have to lead by example and do everything that we can to encourage people, because traditionally we go out and we have faith in these people. We have a problem, we go to that specialist for that problem, and then effectively, and this is the way that we've been brought up. It's this is a specialist job. I need a specialist person. It's their job to fix it. It's not working though, is it?
No.
So it's not working.
Especially
so what we've got to do is we've got to find some way of that encouragement to get those owners to see that what is going on is not working and there is an alternative. Now, however that may be, and it is so frustrating, we've been in this business a long time. We've shouted it from the hilltops, we've nurtured, we've tried everything. And you know what? It depends on the person what's going to work. And if they are really closed-minded and says, do you know what, I've had my farrier is brilliant, I've had him for 20 years, there is nothing that is going to change their mind until it does. Until it does. And we just got to keep trying. We just got to keep trying.
Honestly,
without losing our rag, but it's so blimmin' frustrating.
Honestly, it is. By just brushing everything with that laminitis brush caused by diet and management, you know, endocrinopathic or sepsis or supporting limb, which is the 3 that they talk about, which I'm going to do an It's Not Rocket Science lesson on. They look at that and they basically go, "Ooh, it's laminitis. Ooh, it's terrible." Yeah, the lamina are flipping stressed and stretched and in agony and swollen and inflamed and all of those things. But we caused it. We caused it by terrible hoof care. It is not your get out of jail free card. Stop it. Oh, wow. Yeah. Awful, awful. Laminitis, says the vet, as they trundle in with terribly high heels, horizontal coronary bands and chopped off toes. X-ray it. Yeah, look how rotated P3. Like, I just want to grab them and go, what is it that you're not seeing? Why can't you see the hoof capsule? Next time you go to a horse and you go and X-ray it and you go P3 is rotated, look at the hoof capsule. But you want to know something? Do you know why they don't know? Because none of them are trained how to trim or understand the natural foot down to its natural constants. Now you can you can say whatever you want about us, but they never trimmed. Right? They don't do it, so they don't know. They're like, I wouldn't have a clue. If it smacked me in the face, I wouldn't have a clue how far to put those heels. Some of them go, lower the heels. How far, sir, madam? Would you like me to lower them? Just lower than they are right now. Really? What? And how low would that be? Lower than they are right now. Could you tell me how low? Lower than they are right now. Great. To a centimetre or so? Well, yeah, looking at that X-ray, you're probably going to have to lower them a bit more, but make sure you take toe off. Why is that? Well, because the toe's going to be tearing those lamina. What? As much as the heels are? Putting P3 in this position and tearing the lamina? Right. Dawn Lim, can poor hoof imbalance contribute to soreness in the back and the hamstrings?
Oh, it can cause soreness everywhere.
Not just soreness, arthritis.
Arthritis, imbalance in joints. Because if you've got imbalance in the feet, then you will end up having all of the joints further up out of balance, and then the horse will try and support that imbalance the best way it can. And then that causes soft tissues to turn bony.
Side bone, ring bone in the foot.
Side bone, ring bone, arthritis.
Enthesiophytes,
all of those things. Hoof balance.
Upper body problems.
Everybody keeps saying, and it's an old saying, isn't it? No hoof, no horse. Why is it so blimmin' wrong? It's just shocking, isn't it? Just shocking.
Every day, says Joe. Des says, we rescued a 26-year-old mare that has coat can foot. I was told by my farrier that she is no longer savable and will always be like that because the tendons and ligaments have been that way too long and that the trim will now have to stay that shape. I just couldn't accept this as the truth. I want to desperately help her.
It is harder the longer it is, but do you know what? They get so much relief when those heels come down, depending on how much and if there is any osteonecrosis.
And if you've got a toe wall.
And you've got a toe wall, the back of the foot is really good at recovering, but if they've been coat can feet and tipped forward, so that coronary band is more horizontal than it is leaning back, then really you really need to have X-rays. You really need to have X-rays to be able to see what is going on inside, and then we can manage people's expectations, and you know.
I do want to have a look at Nicole's photos, but I just want to address this question because it really is a good question. This is a really good question. Melina Kingscote, don't know you. Lovely name, Kingscote.
Hi, Melina.
I like that. Good to see you and welcome to the lives. With the correct trim, can there be rotation of P3?
Nope.
None.
Not even if they've got laminitis. Not even if they've got laminitis.
Laminitis caused by endocrinopathic laminitis or SIRS or whatever, right? It doesn't happen incidentally. Supporting limb laminitis is all to do with hoof capsule issues. So, no. But no. What's the correct trim, Melina?
Knowing the correct trim is the vital part.
Because if you don't know the correct trim, then the P3 can be rotated because you haven't got the heels down to the right place and you've not got the toe in the right place and you've not got your dorsopalmar balance correct, which is really difficult to do when you start taking toes off. Not that you're doing that, I'm just kind of saying. Right, let's have a quick look in here because I really want to find Nicole because there she is, sat right now listening in the middle of a rainforest in Peru. All I think of is Paddington Bear. I can't help it. Here we go. So here's Nicole. So let's just take a look at this. It's a long it's a long read, and I'm not going to go down and read it all. But basically, she's saying,
"Are we supposed to be able to see anything because we can't?"
Oh, it's because I didn't share screen. Well done. La, la, la. Oops! Can you see it now?
Yeah, all good.
Nicole, there we are. Firstly, I really want to thank this group for being so incredibly supportive, and that we are. On my journey of trying.
I can't see it.
What?
Can we blow it up? I can't see it. Oh, that's much better. Thank you.
On my journey of trying to educate myself to be a better horse owner, I've joined a number of groups, and straight away, people were leaving horrible comments without even giving any helpful advice that I was just doing wrong. So thank you. You're welcome, my lovely. She lives in Iquitos. Have I said that right? Peru, the largest city in the world that cannot be accessed by road. It's surrounded by thousands of miles of Amazon rainforest and rivers. I cannot even imagine what that must be like. Incredible.
It sounds lovely.
But it means we've got no equine vets or dentists or farriers, no trainers, and sadly no hay. Wow. And yet you've got horses down there. Since our journey began last year when I took on 2 rescue ponies, I've had to learn everything 100% online, try shipping what little supplies I can from the US. I wasn't going to read all this, but it is a fascinating story. where she's from originally. Things like saddle fit, etc., have been a nightmare. On my last trail, I noticed that on my last trail ride, I noticed my 13-hand estimated 5-year-old pony wincing, trying to go over some broken bits of brick and gravel. He almost seems to have no frog to me, and he seems to have deep cracks between his heel bulbs. Their grazing grounds are located on the flood basins along the rivers. When the water recedes during our 6-month dry season, it's full of tall grass, but during the receding period, it's quite damp and muddy. Horses don't die from being in mud. It's okay. I know damp and muddy is not bad. It's bad. It's not all that bad, but it's our only option other than put them 100% feed. No, it's fine. Ground corn, finely ground corn powder, oatmeal, and alfalfa rabbit pellets. This is why they've been given in addition to grazing for the last year to help them get their weight up. Okay, because they were quite underweight, weren't they? Look at these poor little things. Here are a few pics I was able to get after yesterday's trim. Then later I found the link with the description of the pics needed, so I will try and go out and get the rest of those. I think you've put some in. No. Thank you, Lindsay and team, for your help and tireless efforts to make the equine world safer and more knowledgeable space, especially for us simple green Joes who aren't equine professionals right in the middle of the Amazonian forest. Right. Look. Bless. What did she say? The first time we met, I wasn't actually planning on buying a horse yet, but after seeing him, I didn't think if I waited till I was ready, he would still be alive. And honestly, after 3 years of searching my city for a horse with no luck, it just made sense, and I was able to bring them home 2 weeks later. Oh, it's quite emotional, actually. Look at him. Bless him. There's the hello, darling. Hello, Babbity Boo. Oh. Well done, Nicole. I just want to give you a massive hug. Right, okay, let's just keep going. I can't read all those comments just for a moment. But this is him now. I don't think you got a picture of the grey one. And I guess you just have to have them on lines because I'm guessing because you got no paddocks, right? That's what I'm guessing. But look, what a difference. Gosh, looks like a completely different horse. Okay, before front left, not that bad. Jump in, Gary, if you want to. Not really that bad. Probably because they haven't been messed around with, frankly. So just a little bit of heels need to be done, and they've left toe. Well, he has. So this isn't too bad. I think that's probably after the trim. You don't need to put so much of a big beefy roll on there because you're putting the roll on from below, but then which won't end up as big and beefy as that. As long as you've got hoof wall on the ground, that's just aesthetics, really. And for those of you looking, this is the periopple. It's just because the hoof has been wet, and so it looks like your cuticle when you've been laying in the bath for too long. Goes all very white, doesn't it? This is after. It's a bit muddy. Doesn't matter. Pretty good effort, eh, Gary?
That's looking pretty good to me. It looks as though we got hoof wall all the way around. The sole looks as though it's hard sole plain. It looks nice and healthy. The frogs look good. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing. A little bit tiny nibble of bar there, but really, honestly, like I said before, looks nicely balanced. There might be a little bit more,
slightly a little bit high on that one side.
And be sure, it's hard to tell because we can see the top of the hoof. So if you tilted that slightly, that would probably be in balance. Because that heel to toe balance is very important. That's not bad at all for being in the middle of the Amazonian forest. I keep saying that because I think it's brilliant. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Back, left, back, left. Yeah, look at that. That ain't bad at all. Well done.
A little bit of bar to come off, but that and a skim over that's it.
Yeah, you've done well there. Good job. Yeah. So all this redness at the back, that's part and parcel of the fact that the diet's not entirely right. Probably you're just not quite enough fiber in there. I don't know what products you've got. I wonder if we could get some lucillin sent to you because that would probably help. Try not to wash it if you can, and I'm guessing they get wet. If you can, don't ever wash the back of the foot. If you can get some barrier cream to put on there, all the better, or something like Vaseline or anything like that. although that's not got anything to treat the sores with. So something like pseudocreme would be better, but you're in the middle of the Amazonian forest. I don't know what you can get hold of, right? But don't wash it. Looks like you might have had a fungal infection here as well. It's probably gone a little bit awry there. Yeah, sore red legs. But you know what? The trim, keep doing what you're doing. A little bit, tiny bit of red, but you notice there aren't very many rings here. Still redness in there. Try, yeah, like I said, don't wash. Favoring that back right. Okay. Again, excellent. Really good. I mean, I can't see the balance from there, but I can see that you're getting down to the hard sole plane pretty much. Don't be afraid of these heels. Keep those down to the hard sole plane. It's not so bad. It's balanced, isn't it? Might be favouring this leg because of the soreness that you've got there. Can't really tell if the angle's off. Doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Yeah. Not been messed around with. These feet are okay. A little bit of bar here. Yeah. Looks balanced. This looks okay. Wow.
What a transformation.
Yeah, I can see that in that back right. He was favouring his foot yesterday too. I thought he was just relaxing after we had just finished a little light lunging, but today we didn't lunge and it was the same back right that he was favouring. He could be just throwing an abscess back there, or he's just sore in the leg, but yeah, because the back of the foot. So you need something to address that, and don't wash his legs. Just if he's muddy, just brush it off, let it dry and brush it off. What am I seeing there? Am I seeing a swollen sheath, or am I seeing a sarcoid there? I don't know. I don't know what I'm seeing there. But wow, what a job you've done. Oh, is he? Am I seeing testicles? Is that what I'm seeing? Testicles? It's probably because I'm seeing testicles. Just watch. Try and just watch the saddle look rubbing on this area here, and you see he's a little bit lumpy across his spine. If you could, I mean, you've got him, his muscles of, I mean, what a difference. If you can get yourself a bareback pad, I would encourage you to, like a best friend, because they're my favorite. You'd be better off riding in one of those, I think, because he's got a bit of a high wither if you're struggling getting saddle fitting, because it's crucial. Hey, buddy. It's quite narrow at the front. I think that's just the way he's standing. Gosh. Blooming heck. What a difference.
What a change. What a change.
What a change. So what I would say, and I think she has put some pictures.
I've got to use my new toy for that, for Nicole.
Oh, here we go.
I've got to use my new toy. Got to stick me on screen.
Oh.
We've had a slight upgrade. Lindsay's got one too, but I bet it's not handy.
It's handy.
Oh, stick us both up then. Nova Pearson, thank you so much. Awesome job, Nicole. Awesome job.
Good girl. Okay, let's just stop sharing. I think there might be some more photos in there, but ultimately I'm not bothered. You're doing really well. You're doing really well. Don't wash the legs, let them dry, get some barrier cream on there. He may be favouring it because of that, or he may be favouring it because he's getting a little bit of an abscess. Could be a little bit of either. Jade says, spectacular information. Thank you both so much. I've been hanging on every word and crying in relief that I'm not alone in seeing these problems, and will pass it on to the owner when I go on Saturday. Brilliant. Meta says, question, what if a horse, we got to hurry up, we've been on 1 hour and 24. What if a horse has had high heels and has been unbalanced for long and now has side bone, ring bone, etc., in order to stabilize the bony column? How will the arthritic bones react to the correct trim? That is difficult.
That is a very good question.
And it's a good question, because I am actually dealing with a horse right now that has got excessive ring bone in one of her feet. and she had Coke can. She's not a small horse. She had Coke can feet, and we've been bringing them down, or the owner has. She lives in the States, so we're doing this online, and the horse is now out of boots because, of course, she was in pain with P3 being in the wrong position. But obviously, she's sounder than she was because she was crippled. She's sounder than she was, but she's not sound. So I think when you have situations where you do have extensive arthritis, you just have to also manage the you may not have, because this horse hasn't got extensive osteonecrosis. She has got some remodeling, but it's not crazy like we do see. But she has got some quite significant arthritis. The side bone's not the problem. The problem is the ring bone. And she probably will never be sound because of it, because of that extensive ring bone. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. That, at the end of the day, we're firefighting a bit, aren't we? But what we do know is that if we leave P3 in that position, the time is running out quite quickly.
And
leading by example is way to go.
Depending on the animal itself, you really have to be guided by them. Things change, and you give them a little bit of time to acclimatize to the different feet because they're getting more normal. You have to give the foot and the body time to adjust. But one horse can cope really quite well, but then another won't. You have to really be guided by the horse. You really do. And that's hard. That's hard.
Nicole says, do you have a hoof boot preference? Equine Fusion Ultras or Equine Fusions for rehab?
Yeah.
And for just hacking out if they fit. Scoots are really good. If you're using them, they're not there for rehab, they're there for hacking out. They're great if they fit. Yeah, flex boots, Evos, but they can all, it depends what you want. It just depends what your horse fits. We're talking about rehab, Equine Fusion, and also they can be used for hacking out. So they're a great all-round boots because they got different models, and scoot boots probably are our top faves, I'd say, Gary.
Yeah.
But not scoots for rehab, but EFs for rehab. Are so exciting. A-Lig in the tractor. I don't know if I said egg-lig right. It's probably not pronounced like that at all. And the tractor has just arrived behind me with all my straining posts. Fencing arriving Saturday for 140 meters of new track. Awesome. Yes, girl. Go, girl. Thanks for another Fab Live. Always so much to learn. I'm off to bed now. Hope to join in tomorrow's live. Well, we better go too, because we've been on here an hour and a half, which has been our first live in an entire week. So thank you so much for joining us. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. We've enjoyed going through the page. We didn't get many done. I do apologize. We will try and do a little bit more tomorrow. And maybe this week we'll try what we got Thursday and Friday. We'll carry on going through the page until we can catch up a little bit. But our problem is that people keep posting more and more in there. But we'll see how far we can get down. Yeah. And if you're really desperate for us to have a look, put that link up like Jade did, and we will go and have a look. Gary will put the link up to this so you can rewatch it in the group. And of course, it will go up onto YouTube at some point. We're a little bit behind, but we're about 10 behind, I think. All right, my lovelies, it's been fabulous speaking to you again this evening. It's great to be back. It's great to be back. That's loud. All right, then. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.